So today I wanted to talk about the lifestyle that I used to lead. Would joke about it as a fake religion, practiced as a real religion, which now seen as a dead religion called Techno Satanic Taoism, also known as Satanic Taoism, originally known as Cyberpunk Satanic Taoism. So I'm the one and only founder of this fake religion, which was practiced as a real religion, and was never truly taken seriously. Therefore, maybe one of the most genuine religions ever. So essentially, in my old lifestyle, there was a lot of mistakes, and also a lot of lessons learned the hard way. And I do feel I'm lucky to have made it out alive. Dealing with dark forces, self-hatred, and eventually surrender. So when it comes down to it, I guess I would explain my old lifestyle as delusion and wandering lost from place to place, looking for some sort of inner and outer peace and serenity, and ultimately failing miserably in many, many ways. But as we see with the classic example of Benjamin Franklin failing 3,000 times to create the light bulb, what he would really say is, it took 3,000 steps to create the light bulb. Now, first off, I'm not a Benjamin Franklin fan. I'm more of a Nikola Tesla fan, so there's that. So, it will take multiple videos to expound the diary of a techno-satanic Taoist. And it is a multifaceted thing, as this is something that emerged from my actions. And the way I would quantify the end game of this is I sat with one of my friends, who's a guru type, and I said, why do I find myself with increasing anxiety and pain, but also an increasing sense of peace, serenity, and clarity? And so he brought up the classic Native American parable of we each have a good wolf and a bad wolf inside. And with each of our actions, we feed one of these wolves. So when I really felt that, I looked at these two raging wolves. And that's why I was never getting anywhere. I was feeding the good wolf and the bad wolf, and so I was stuck. And for many years I spent without progress. And now I look back and understand I learned some invaluable lessons, but also I learned those lessons the hard way, which is its own trade. So when it comes to this false dead religion of techno-satanic Taoism, I want to say I've abandoned those ways, and I have learned a lot from them and bring those teachings and lessons into my life now. And so I want to say the reason it's a dead religion, as with many of our other religions in this world, look at what Joseph Campbell says, what you truly need is a living mythology. This is why people search out for external rites of passage. A living mythology is something that's not dogmatic. A true living mythology is something that can change and adapt. But let's understand the tenets of Satanic Taoism. So with Satanic Taoism, translated into the modern age with technology, we see that with Satanism, true Satanism is not about worshipping an external deity known as the devil or Satan or as the challenger or Shaitan or a demon or the beast. True Satanism is worship of the human ego and the powers of the human ego and the self, which is an amazing miracle. But as we see with the truth of Taoism and Eastern philosophy and actual wisdom traditions, the actual truth lays in there's always a higher power, a greater power than the individual that gives us the borrowed energy that we take. And at the end of the day, we are the playthings of the gods, of the eternal self, Brahman. And so when it comes down to it, both sides are true, but one side fizzles out if you focus on it too much. And so that is the side of Satanism. This is the worship of the self, the ego, the will, and the exertion of power. And yeah, there is a lot of truth in that. So what it comes down to is the intention. The intention, in many times, was very selfish. So part of this journey is I wanted to be a world-famous demonic rapper, or whatever conception it would change to. I wanted to be an underground spiritual rapper. All of these ideas of success hinging on being a rap lord, an edge lord, being some edgy kind of figure, Singe Saber, who'd come in as Prajna and cut the heads off of the demons. This was all part of my self-image, and the way that I would imitate others, the way that I would interact with the world, was all based on this idea of someday I'll be free, someday I'll be this empowered Singe Saber, and until then I'm meditating in these places and doing these things. And so when I look back at the true definition of Satanic Taoism, there was so much to it that was essentially a focus in my life. But at the time, I didn't realize that I was truly practicing dark arts mixed with light work. And that's an interesting place to be, but is completely unsustainable at the same time. And so this ended in feeling suicidal depression, anxiety. So when it comes down to it, at the time, I would realize of this practice of Techno Satanic Taoism ultimately occurred to me as going to beautiful places quite like this that were affected by the ugliness of society in all of these industrial places where nature would still flourish. And so I experienced deep meditations in a lot of these places, but yeah, they were assisted by mind-altering substances from psychedelics, but mainly marijuana. Eventually getting my legal marijuana card. And so now I understand that was where the practice kind of sprung from, when I realized this is the practice I would continually do. Walk or drive, whatever, find these beautiful places, meditate there on whatever I wanted to meditate on, mostly selfish bullcrap when it comes to, wanting to be a rapper, dealing with all these problems, and at the time it made up my entire worldview. And now I understand it was just another selfish trip I was on. And so this just continued in many different places with different friends. One particular friend, you know who you are, was essentially a co-founder in certain ways. But I do have to say I take full credit for this movement of one. There's only one true Techno Satanic Taoist. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily proud of that. I left this fake religion behind for a reason, because it's bullcrap. But at the time, it's all that was keeping me going. So smoking it up in these beautiful places, meditating, that was the practice. And so understanding that there was a lot more to it than that. There was the practice of freestyling, being in the car, freestyling these amazing epic poems to me, and I put so much work into them. And of course, this is the aspect of Satanism and Taoism meeting together again, this triumph of the will, and then the Taoist aspect of a poem that floats off into nothingness. Because most of the time I wouldn't record. I would say probably most of my top 100 freestyles were never recorded and never even heard. It was just me in the car. And there was this one point where I put nothing but instrumentals on my little iPod Nano and would listen to nothing but instrumentals until the point that there was lyrics just playing through my head. My own voice was playing over these instrumentals, and that was a very intense time. And so this was just a little background and introduction. This is a video that will take multiple parts. I'm not sure how many, because there's a lot more aspects of this dead religion. that we can go into, and I don't recommend practicing it at all. The point of these videos is for me to share what I learned from it, and it's just kind of interesting, just kind of one of those unique things that I've found within myself, within the outer world, of this journey of comparative religions and mythology. And really, what's the point of a comparative religion and mythology study? It's really the study of the soul. And so that's what I've always been searching for, the innate self, the soul, the reflection, the soul refraction, if you will, as the saber that cuts through the razor's edge, that we stand on this razor's edge. It may cut your feet, and you may fall to either side. But we're all searching for beauty and for love. Whether we realize it or not, we are searching for beauty and for love. Thank you.